everyone, it's yet another exciting episode of The Leading Woman on Ablaze TV, and every time you get to see my face, you already know you're about to meet one exceptional woman who is walking the corridors of power, not competing with a man, but being exceptional in her role as a woman in career, as a woman in business, and as a family woman at the same time. You want to stick around with us today because this show is going to be exciting and you're going to be learning a lot from us. Stay with me. When we come back after the break, you're going to meet my amazing guest.
There are lots of soaps and skincare products that strip away the natural protection of your skin, leaving your skin vulnerable to irritation and blemishes. Betrayal Organic Skincare is here with a better solution for your body. Betrayal Body Cream enhances your glow and strengthens your skin's elasticity by softening and smoothing all calluses. Betrayal Black Soap balances uneven skin tone by reducing hyperpigmentation and clearing dark spots. Betrayal Serum moisturizes your skin, while Betrayal Body Scrub exfoliates and removes dead skin cells. Guess what? It is efficient on all skin types. A skincare combo carefully formulated to offer your body premium treatment. Betrayal is your brush of perfection.
Now that you're back, I'm about to introduce to you a young lady who is, should I say early 30s? She's not even up to 30, but she has toured the world. She has been to at least 30 countries in the world as a result of her exceptional leadership skills. And today, you are honored to have her. I am so honored as well to have her in the studio with me. Hello. I will not say it all. I don't want to give people your titles yet because I would love you to introduce it. So I'm just going to say, hello, Benis Nubia. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining me in the studio today, for honoring my invitation.
It's my pleasure.
So, can you please, for the sake of the viewers, introduce yourself properly with all the titles? Please don't leave out any.
I don't really carry those titles on my head. Anyway, okay. I'm Benis Nubia, and I'm a cultural entrepreneur and a culture consultant. I am also a pastor. Right now, we are working on a project where I am the assistant coordinator of the World Heritage Third Cycle of Periodic Reporting for the African region.
Hey, I told you, another encyclopedia. Now, as the assistant, I'll have to use my computer so that I can catch up with those titles, else I might be biting my thumb. So, as the assistant coordinator of the Third Cycle of World Heritage Periodic Reporting Exercise for Africa region, what are some of your tasks?
Okay, what I do basically, according to my job description, I am supposed to help the coordinator in preparing workshops and the task of all the exercises we're going to be doing in the various African countries.
Okay.
Yes, and then again, I'm supposed to give a quarterly report of all, so far the work we're doing in the region. And as well, I'm supposed to maybe, if need be, organize or represent or participate in technical meetings in regard to the exercise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, some months back, the Minister of Arts and Culture, His Excellency Bidun Pat, he put up a press conference in honor of you. That's upon your return from abroad. I don't know which country you're going to tell us because you've been to lots of countries and yeah, now and then. So he put up this press conference in honor of you, and I was personally there to watch you talk that day, and it's like every media in Cameroon was there to cover, and from that moment you were almost on every TV that I know in Cameroon. Can you tell us about it? What prompted the trip abroad? Because you've been to at least 30 countries. What have been prompting those trips abroad so much so that a minister in your country will honor you with a press conference?
I will say that first, I didn't know that I was going to be doing this because when I left the university 10 years back, I was thinking that I should continue with my studies so that sometime in the future I'll be coordinating projects with the United Nations. But then I gave a pause to my academic career. I came to church to follow God, to understand the things of the kingdom. And then after that, in 2016, I had to return to my career because I studied anthropology at the University of Young Women. So I returned to my career by an instruction coming from my spiritual father, who was mentoring me and training me then, that I have to return to my career. And so I took the first trip out of the country to South Africa, where I was to coordinate African youth on how we can engage more people in cultural activities. So it all started from there. Now then, coming back to your question about what took me abroad. So every year in the month of June and July, UNESCO organized a meeting they call the World Heritage Committee meeting, which is a group of 21 countries around the world elected by other countries around the world as well to promote a convention on culture and heritage, which is the 1972 Convention on the Protection of Natural and Cultural Heritage. So this committee always sits once every year in the month of June and July. So then in the month of January, I was in Italy to work, to consult as an expert for another international organization that is an advisor to the United Nations on how to build a 10 years program on culture and heritage for the African continent with youth in the driver's seat. So I was invited to Azerbaijan in the month of June and July to this committee to present this project or to sell the project to the African countries, or in the professional language we call it the state parties that were present at the committee. And so in Cameroon, the Ministry of Arts and Culture is the institution that represents Cameroon at the international level when it comes to culture. So the minister had to come to this meeting, but then the minister did not know me. So when he came to this meeting, during this meeting we organized what they call side events. You can sell your project, your ideas to countries that are interested, and they will buy, and they can fund, they can sponsor, they can partner. So when he attended one of the side events, when had not arrived, so they told him that there is another event that will be coming up, and the presenter at that event will be a Cameroonian. And he was like, huh? A Cameroonian? They're like, yes, and a lady. And then he was like, yeah, she works in which ministry? They call him minister. They said, no, she's not in any ministry. She works in an NGO. But we've been working with her. So you will see her during the meeting. So when I got there, and then they told me that the minister from my country has been looking for me, and that he really wants to be sure that actually I'm a Cameroonian and all that. So when we arrived, as I was entering the meeting room, the director of culture, the director of heritage, sorry, at the Ministry of Arts and Culture, called me that the minister wants to see me now. I'm like, let me finish. No, let before the meeting starts. Then I ran there. He was like, so truly you're a Cameroonian? I'm like, yes. He said, but they've told me that you've been doing this over the years, and we've never seen you come to ask us for money, or that we should pay you a flight, we should sponsor you abroad to go and represent the country, and all that and all that. And he was like, okay, tell me what you've been able to do so far with Cameroon at the international level. And I told him how I've represented the country, presented so many things about the country, and you know, Cameroon is very particular when you have to present the country in a good way, because there are many people out there, but they are not projecting the country in a good way. So when I explained to him all the things that I've been able to do, because my site of work in Cameroon is in the Northwest region, in the Bafut Palace, so I work basically, that's my base. So I explained to him all the things that I've been able to do so far there, and he was like, you've never asked him? I said yes. So he said, okay, we are going to participate in this meeting. Since I don't know what the project is all about, let me see how it goes. So we had the meeting, and all other countries from Africa that were there came. And after I finished presenting the project, he was so impressed, he was so fascinated. And then he made a comment that he was never expecting that it would be a young person that would do this. Secondly, a lady. Thirdly, from the Northwest region of Cameroon, and like we can hardly hear about English people doing this kind of things and all that. So he said that when we get back home, we have to talk more. So that's how I got in contact with him, and we discussed. And throughout that meeting, we worked together until the end of the committee. So his reason of organizing the press conference was that he wants to show the nation of Cameroon, a young Cameroonian who is giving the country a good image out there, yet is not asking anything from the country. So he wanted to expose me to the nation and around the world. Anybody that is interested in what I do can join me, and as well to officially make it known that the Ministry of Arts and Culture is ready to support any initiative I bring on at any time.
Wow, and that is how it landed you a press conference that puts you on every media in the country. Now, from what you're saying, I understood that sometimes it is not, because I know lots of people who go to these ministries to ask for support, like they have good projects that they even want the minister to support or these ministries to support, but it takes you to be exceptional. Because looking at your case, you have been doing a lot of great things for the nation, representing the country exceptionally well. Yet you have not come up to these ministries and asked for any support in return and all of that. Now, it took your extra ability, your exceptionality for the minister to notice you and then bring you up. I am so impressed. Now, I want you to tell me, you work with Better Life Initiative as the Chief Operations Officer. Tell me a little more about Better Life Initiative.
So, Better Life Initiative is an NGO that seeks to improve the academic, the social, economic, the health, and the well-being of the underprivileged of the society through proper education. We give support programs and skill development. And Better Life Initiative, I would say, is the organization that gave me the exposure that I have today, because it's an organization that is owned by my spiritual father, and he gave it to me to manage it. And so when I took the vision of the Better Life Initiative, I was like, I am not an educationist, but I'm a culturalist. So in this vision, where is my niche in this vision? So when it came to the area of skilled development, I realized that there is a lot in culture that is underexploited. And I looked for a place that is easily accessible for me, which was the Bafut Palace, because from the Northwest region, I'm very close to that village. Maybe my ancestors came from Bafut. Yeah, so I knew that if I go there, they will give me the space I need to work. So I had to go there and do a research, and then I put up a project, and then I presented it to UNESCO, to the head office in France, and they were so impressed, and they approved the project. So Better Life Initiative gave me the platform and the exposure to the international scene. So from there, we were able, with the help of Better Life Initiative, to educate, and not like formally, but developing the skills of the young people around the community, that they can use these fabrics to make their clothes, they can use traditional metal to make a lot of things. And so we were trying to see how young people can get something for themselves. How can you make money from culture? How can you become an entrepreneur with culture? Because these days people are only looking how they should go out there, go and buy in Europe, come and sell here. But there is a lot here that we can use from our own base, and we promote out there. And these days culture sells a lot, and these days culture is what is connecting the world. So that is what I saw that we could do for the Bafut people. And today, the few young people that I was able to reach out in the Bafut are now doing well, because Better Life Initiative gave them the support.
Should give a round of applause for that. Now, you've mentioned your pastor twice already since we started talking. Let's drift to this other side of you that many people watching right now definitely don't know about. You are a pastor, a reverend pastor, and an ordained apostle. Now, let me first of all start by getting the difference between the pastor. What's the difference, a pastor and an apostle?
I will just make it simple. Let me just give a simple literal definition. Okay, a pastor is an ordained leader of a Christian congregation. We will say that a local congregation, local community. And let's say that an apostle is an emissary, somebody that is sent off with a message to the particular people. Yeah, so you can be a pastor and yet an apostle as well, because you can still be pastoring a congregation, and God still decides to send you with another message to another group of people.
Now, what baffles me is the level of achievement that you have attained already at a very young age. I want it to be noted that she's not up to 30 years old. Now, I don't want to tell you her age, and please, she's married. For those of you who are already, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so now as a pastor, first of all, this is a field that in Africa, we believe that it is strictly for men. Like the woman shouldn't venture into the pastoral or into ministry at all. Or maybe, let me say full-time, the woman shouldn't venture into it full-time. Like you can do ministry, but maybe in the choir, maybe as an usher, or maybe, yeah, maybe a sanctuary keeper and all of that. What is it that motivated you to pick up this task and run with it? What is it that is keeping you in it?
I'll maybe take 2 steps backward. Like I said, when I left the university, I've been struggling young girl, so I built some kind of ambition for myself. But I came to realize that it was not godly oriented. I don't know what to say. Yeah. There was no God in it, because I was building this ambition to revenge, out of vengeance, with anger, you know, that kind of thing. And then one way or the other, I landed in a church that I met somebody then who was not even a pastor. So, and I was not looking very good. I think I'm looking good. So I was not this way I am now. And he began to tell me that it's true, I've gone to school, I'm young, I'm already graduated from the university, I'm not even 20, I'm already graduating. But he wants to tell me that those kind of ambitions that I've built for myself, I cannot attain them if God is not in the picture. And then I was like, okay, so let God serve my ambition first, and then I serve him later. And he was like, no, you serve God first. Because at the end of the day, you can still not achieve your ambition, and it doesn't stop God from being God. He still remains God, and yet He makes sure that you don't even get what you want. So okay, and then I was like, okay, I'm ready to serve God. And then I knew in my mind, like he said, I would just sing in the choir, even I didn't have a good voice. I can't sing, but then I can sweep the church, I can clean the church, you know, I can direct people in church, sit here and all that. So that was what I was understanding, like serving God. And then one day, he actually now came to me, like, let him be clear. What he's telling me that sometime in the future, I'm going to be a pastor. Sometime in the future, you will preach from the pulpit. And I was like, really? He says, okay, so give yourself to it first. When you have done what God wants you to do, then God will do for you what you want Him to do. So that's how I now gave myself to the fact that I'm going to be a pastor. And he trained me all those years. I had to read, I had to go to Bible school, I had to study. And I must say that it was not easy. That was the most challenging moment of my life, because I knew that as a young girl, I could hustle one way or the other, you know, and make ends meet. I could rush here, rush there. But now I find myself sitting in the same spot. All I can do is read and pray and fast and pray for others and clean the church. That was my routine. And then I was like, how do I meet my needs? So, and then after some time, I picked a menial job, should I call it like that. So I began doing private classes. So I was just teaching around the neighborhood where I was living. So, and I was actually living in church. Not like I had a house. Yeah, I was living in church. So the people who were living around the church, I was just teaching them, doing private classes. So then the little money I had, I could meet my needs as a young girl. So, and it took all that while I became ordained, and then it was like, you're still into it until God says that I am satisfied so far with what you've done, then before you think of another thing. And I didn't complain. I believe that if God is real, because I've seen Him do real things in others' life, I know that my case will not be an exception. So, and I kept on persevering, and towards the end of 2015, He now told me that, okay, so far God is pleased with my work, and so I can take another step into my career. And so that is how it started. And again, then very young, because now I feel I'm a bit older.
No, just maybe because you're married, so you keep older.
Then very young, and people are like, you, pastor, can you pray for me? Then you're like, so we're like, one morning like this, you train people. What does she know? Can she read the Bible? Does she even know what it means to pray? And what does she know about God? All those kind of things. And then I'm like, Then I was feeling discouraged. I want to pray for someone. Person like, no, I take it away. You want your pastor. And then you are a girl. Says, go and look for a man and get married to. You know, all those kind of things. And then I'm like, but one thing kept me going. It was the man that God spoke to that I'm supposed to be God's servant. And so I could not be thinking that this man has selfish intention because he had all that he needed for himself. Yeah. So I kept on believing that God really wants me to serve him. Even when people will reject me, I will embrace it. But when it comes to the Bible, I was motivated by the success stories of the other women in the Bible. People, and the Bible makes it clear that the people who walked with Paul were more ladies. They were not men. Talk about Aquila, talk about Priscilla. We had the likes of Esther. Yeah. Those are women that stood at the forefront, like Deborah, leading a whole nation to war, and they were winning. And they're like, but these people, they were also young like me before they became old. So what is the problem if I start doing it even younger? So when people were saying all that they were saying, I looked on what was more realistic, because I will not say that the voices of men or society, I will say the noise of the society. Okay. It is noise because they're actually not giving anything reasonable. They just want to kill your drive. They want to discourage you. They want to demoralize you. They want you to make that you feel that you have nothing to offer. And again, a girl, and they'll be like, this one is frustration and all that. But I believe that it was and it will never be frustration, because of all the things I am doing today, if God didn't come in first, these other things would have never.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. How has your relationship and your work with God influenced your life, your career? I mean, like up to the stage where we see you at right now. How did your work with God influence all of that?
I can say that I was basically trained in church, because after my degree in Waikele, I didn't go back to school. Okay. So the pastor that told me that I will be someday in the future a great woman of God and a great career woman was training me on both ends. This is how you do it as a pastor. This is how you do it as a career woman. He trained me in such a way that I could not find myself in an international platform and be saying that amen. You know, you can go to a committee meeting and you say amen. And then they don't pray there. Yeah. You get it? So he trained me on both sides, and today the knowledge from the training in God's vineyard has been able to give me the career.
God's own university is better than every other university. So on that note, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have a few minutes more of you, and then we are going to be off for this episode. Stay with us, don't go nowhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just joining us, you are live on Ablaze TV, and this is the Leading Woman's Show. And on today's episode, I have an exceptional woman whose life is going to be transforming yours, educating yours, informing yours, and connecting you to the people that matter in life. So you may want to stay with us to the end. But before we get to round up on today's episode, I want you to tell me, as a young girl who's touring the world every now and then, you're hooked up in an organization that takes most of your time, and at the same time you're married, you have a baby, you're a new mother, I would say that. How do you manage to balance up your life, your career, so much so that you're excellent at it, and at the same time you're excellent as a family woman?
It's quite challenging, but I believe that as a young person you need to plan your life. When you aspire for a great future, you start by planning your life. And so if you plan your life properly, you'll be able to meet up with every responsibility at any point in time. As a married woman, as a pastor, as a mother, as a career woman, what I do is that I make up my mind to properly organize each day of my life. I cannot just get up in the morning, I don't know what to do, I don't have what to do. And I am determined to stick to my daily plan. And at the same time, when it gets to a point where one aspect overweighing the other, that is why you need to have leaders ahead of you who can always bring in the check. Hey, you're overdoing this. come back this way. You're emphasizing here, you're losing the balance this way, come back like this. So if you're organized and you're determined and you yield to leadership, to guidance, you'll be able to balance your life and you will not have any issue running whatever agenda you have for your life. And for me as a new mother, I know that it's challenging, especially when you're a young girl, you've never been a mother before, and then in the middle of all this, you find yourself with a baby. I want to say that I did not have a baby accidentally. It was conscious that at this time, what I am doing, I've organized myself so that if I have a baby now, it will not interrupt my work as a pastor, it will not interrupt my work as a career woman, and I believe that my husband will not feel neglected, that all my attention is only on the baby. So if you put everything in order, you will find yourself working on it. But there are things that you can be legitimately distracted, but that doesn't mean that you will come back on track when you have the opportunity to fix it.
So it has to be proper planning, organization. Now, what advice do you have for the young woman out there who is clamoring for leadership positions, but due to gender inequality, there are some barriers that have been placed before her?
What I will give as advice is that maybe I'm going to drift a bit from the trend. What I will say is that I don't really see that it is an issue of gender inequality. For me, I think it is mental inequality. Okay. Because I don't know, maybe to an extent as a woman, maybe your physical look victimizes you in a way or the other. But I think it starts from the mind. So I want every young girl out there to believe in themselves, be confident enough that you are not less of who God says you are. If God created you and gave you a purpose, it means that you are equipped with all that it takes to manifest that purpose. The same way He's doing for a man. Maybe the society might castigate you, but it is not the society that gave you the purpose. It's not the society that gave you the vision you are pursuing. It's not the society that consented with God to create you. So I feel that we should drift a bit from looking from the male side or the female side, and it's a problem of the mind. And I want to advise every young lady to yield to mentorship. Okay. Give yourself to be trained for proper training. Anybody who will lead needs to be properly trained. Nobody was born a leader. I don't know what people say. Some people are there, people are born leaders. I don't believe that anybody was born a leader. You're trained to be a leader. Because if you die today, if I die today, I want to hand over my leadership to my daughter. If she is not trained, she will not be able to perform. So every young lady should give herself to training so that tomorrow she will be able to perform in whatever space she has decided to create or design for herself. And forget this thing we are hearing in the society today. I can make it, I am talented, talent is not enough. Your talent can even make you not even go far because you will misuse it, you will mismanage it. But if you're trained, you will maximize it. So I'm telling all the young girls out there, please, there is a time for training and there is a time for showing.
Yeah, a popular writer said, show me a man without a mentor and I will show you a man who is on his way to failure.
Yes, because the way to the top is very, very dangerous. People use all kinds of ways to get to the top. And so you need a leader, whether spiritually, physically, to cover your head, because people can stampede you down. They can even use you as a ladder to the top. Again, when you're already feeling like a woman, there's something lacking. I mean, they will just capitalize on that and make sure that you never raise your head. So you need to be equipped and properly informed so that we can perform.
Thank you very much for joining me on the show. Your story is going to go a long way to transform someone's life out there, to inform them, to educate them, and of course move them on to the betterment of their own lives as they move forward to leadership positions. It's on this note that we take our leave from today's show. We call it a wrap. It was amazing having you all stay to the end. And do not forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel and also click on the notification button. See you next time.